I take back what I said in my last video. Part 5 is now my favorite, because for the first 13 minutes I was laughing my ass off at all of the ridiculous things that happened. And one of the guys who got arrested pulled something out of his ear, ate it, said that they would never take him alive, and then fell to the ground. And I felt like I was in a 1915 version of CSI when everyone knelt around him and said, he took something. Uh, Undoubtedly cyanide. He's dead. You don't need to take his pulse or anything. That's sufficient. He's dead. Put him in the cell because apparently it was too late to take him to the morgue. Who knew morgues closed? People die all day and night, so that was kind of weird. And of course, they covered him in a sheet and all that fun stuff. And a night guard decides to go in that room, and right before that, you see the covered in sheet guy, the dead one. He does that. You know it's coming as soon as you see it because you see him covered in the sheet. Nothing's happening, and you're like, oh, he's gonna slowly sit up with the sheet covering him, and he does. I'd say that's cliche, but since it's 1915 for the film, and when the film was made, it's not cliche yet. So good on you, mate. Anyway, and then they thief Philippe out of his window with some kind of like dog catcher thing and flip him into a costume basket, which then falls down a flight of stairs. I don't know about you, but I found that extremely funny. And when he came out, he seemed pretty okay. And I just gotta say that the guns in these movies are not intimidating at all. Because at one point, the they tell him that the bullet is not painful enough for him, so he had to hang. And I just thought, bullets not painful. Like, of course it's not painful. If your guns are size of a matchbox car, it's just awful. And and then for some reason, Mazamet was in the car where he was, so he set him free. And he's like an Uber creeper in this one for some reason. He has insomnia. I knew we had something in common. And he watches people with binoculars outside of his window. Everybody in this series is an epic creeper. They just all creep on each other. It's so weird. I don't. Is this what they did before television? I don't really understand. But anyway, neighbor watching and then going and putting a clay mold on top of that door you're like listening to, but you never tell us what you hear, and then going to make a key for it so you can, break and enter legally. Good job, Mazamart. Good job. Anyway, Mazamet. Sorry. Correction. Anyway. Yeah, and it ended with a cliffhanger again. So I may or may not be able to stop watching tonight because my compulsion tells me I have to keep watching until it is over. But maybe not. Maybe I can stop and have a intermission, so they say. And yeah, it was a good section. It made me laugh a lot. I know it wasn't supposed to, but it did. And I think this is you know what, I'm not gonna say that this is the most critical I'm gonna get of this because I spoke too soon last time and I don't want to speak too soon again. So maybe I should just have a recap of everything when I'm done all 10 of these reviews. And then we can decide what are the most ridiculous things about this. Oh wait, I know. The vampires. They never seem to actually kill anyone ever. They just steal from people. They are vampires who dress like ninjas, but then burgle like pirates because, pillaging. And that doesn't make any sense whatsoever in any cinematic world, but hey, maybe they're not real vampires. Maybe they're just a metaphor for something. But who knows? I don't, because I am thoroughly confused. The they gas a whole room of people celebrating something, and you'd think that the gas would have killed them. They'd be like, "Hooray, we can feed!" No, the gas was just so that they can get their pearls and gold and silver and then run away on a carriage, because vampires need carriages now. What? But yeah, so it wasn't bad, but it was confusing. But it did hold my attention. 35 minutes long, not bad. It's just I'm still trying to wrap my head around vampires dressing as ninjas acting like pirates. That's really confusing. Yeah. So, in conclusion, I will probably get to these as soon as possible so I can get this one over with and do the next one on the list. So, I'm Rin. Thanks for watching. See you later.